Hey guys, my name is Andre, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can decipher the schedule and understand it. Because the first time that you see it, it's a little hard to understand and see what everything's saying, but once you see how it's broken down, then it's a lot easier. So you just come here to the Information Engineering website, and you come down to Curriculum, and go ahead and expand Course Plan. Now, when you do that, there's a schedule for each semester, so I'll go ahead and show you your schedule for first semester. So this is what the schedule PDF looks like. The versions change as the schedule changes, so you'll notice that this one's version 1.2, and so it's current as of October 21st. So if there are any changes to the schedule after this, you can always check the version number in the top left corner, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Now, the next parts are basically how to break these down and see each schedule entry. So on the left side in the green, you have the days, right? So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Luckily, you guys don't have anything on Saturday. With COVID, hopefully that won't change, but that's how that is. So when you look at one of these, right? So we'll go ahead and pick, we'll pick IE1 LSL. The bottom left corner here tells you the calendar week that this applies to. So calendar week is more common in Germany than a lot of other places. But if you pull up a calendar, you can actually set it up to show you the calendar week. I'll just show you an example in Google Calendars. If you just go to Settings, and you scroll down to show week number, and you do that under the view options, then the week number is going to show up. So right here, this is week number 49 and week number 56. So you know that on Monday of week 49, so that'll be November 30th, is when you're going to have that class. And then you're also going to have it on calendar week 56, which is actually the beginning of next year. So you're going to have to do the math on that one. But so that's how the calendar piece works. Now, at the top here is where you have the name of the professor that is responsible for this. So for LSL specifically, you have multiple professors, but like if you look up here at LSL 03, that's Lapka. If you look at here at LSL 01, that's Hess. So it's just the professor who's responsible for this. The top left, that small number there, that's the time where this starts. And on the top right, that's the time where it ends, right? So you'll see that these look like they overlap, but they're different weeks. So because they're different weeks, they're not overlapping. This one's on the week 49 and week 56. This one's on weeks 50 to 51 and 54 to 55. The bottom right is where you're going to see if it's online. It'll show up red and say online if that's the case. If there is a number, then that's the room number. So most of your classes are going to take place in Berliner Tor 7. So when you just have a number, that's saying it's Berliner Tor 7. If you see NB, that means new building, and new building is Berliner Tor 5. And then the Zeiss Kino, that's new this semester because of Corona. So that's going to be the movie theater that is leased. So that's how you break down one entry on the schedule. And then you can see that all of these entries are broken down the same way. Now, a couple little things worth pointing out. You don't have to go to all of these, right? So like German is here, so that's a standard class and you're going to go to that. For anything that ends in L, for LSL, there's an introduction class, and so that's where everybody's going to go. But then you're divided into different groups. So if you're in group 1, you're going to go to LSL 1. If you're in group 2, you're going to go to LSL/O2. And if you're in group 3, that's where it's LSL/O3. So the slash numbers is the group number that you're in. And that's how you break down this schedule. Now, the schedule is very confusing to read, but it's the master document. So if there's ever a conflict of information, first, what the professor tells you is going to take a precedence, right? So if the professor says, hey, we're having class this time instead, always go by that. But if it's on the schedule, that's the next level of precedence. And then the convenient thing are these calendar files. So right underneath course plan, you have calendar files, right? So if you just copy the link address, again, if you're using Google Maps, you can just add those calendars, right? So you just import from URL, add the calendar, and you'll see that the calendar shows up here. So if I had all my other calendars, so you can see this, then right there, IE1, EE1, so electrical engineering, that shows up on my calendar now. So that's how you decipher the calendar. Hopefully this was helpful. I highly recommend that you use these calendar files. They're a lot more convenient, a lot easier to read, and you don't need to see what doesn't apply to you, right? If you transfer credits for LSL and LSC, then it's not going to show up on your calendar. You don't have to see when all the other groups are meeting. You just look at your lab group. So it's a lot easier to just see on a day-to-day basis. But when there's ever a doubt, you really want to check the master file that is this calendar here.